All right, everybody, welcome to Reality's Breakdown with the Heretic Clerics. I'm the Belligerent Atheist, and our other presiding clerics are the Iron Chariot, guy in a wheelchair, and Matt, the Apoplectic Atheist from Neckbeard Nation. Tonight, we are going to be talking about how gay marriage is an abomination. And make sure you stick around until the end when we do our Atheist Spotlight, so you can see how who we highlight and what we're highlighting them for. All right, if you're ready to go, Iron Chariot, you are hosting tonight.
Thanks, BA. So obviously the topic of the show is how people argue that gay marriage is an abomination, and so I figured I'd open up by disproving or debunking some of the arguments that they like to use, including that it is unnatural, to which I respond, if you're so worried about living naturally, then here's a short list of things you might also want to do away with. Cars, phones, computers, indoor plumbing, and clothes. Because none of those things are natural. Also, it's not unnatural. It is extremely natural. In fact, there's a whole host of animals that experience homosexual behavior by nature, including but not limited to the brown bear, the domestic cat, the domestic cattle, the chimp, the chicken, the dog, the dolphin, and many more. In fact, there have been over 1,500 species of animals found that exhibit homosexual behavior, including animals that enter lifelong homosexual relationships, such as the duck, the geese, and the ram. I guess that would be goose, so my bad. The second thing that people like to say is that it is going to undermine the sanctity of marriage. But I would argue that there's a very strong case that you could make that says that straight people have undermined the integrity of marriage. Here's a couple divorce statistics for you. There's a divorce in America statistically about every 13 seconds. That translates to about 6,646 per day. A marriage lasts 8 years on average before divorce. It's 46,523 per week. The average person is divorced the first time by the age of 30. 50% of marriages today end in divorce, whereas in the early 20th century, only 10% of marriages ended in divorce. Also, I think there's a case to be made that TV shows that allow people to get married, or reality TV marriages, are also ruining the sanctity of marriage. Shows such as The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and Married at First Sight. And I wouldn't want to blame the sanctity of marriage being ruined on any specific group of people. However, I would like to highlight a couple celebrities because while it's not all on them, they are idols that a lot of people look up to, and they do have a lot of public influence. Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries had a marriage that lasted only 72 days. Mario Lopez and Ali Landry, I don't know how to say that name, had a marriage that lasted only 2 weeks. Britney Spears and Jason Alexander had a marriage that lasted only 55 hours. Dennis Rodman, Carmen Electra, had a marriage that lasted only 6 days. Okay, 6 days. That's insane. And the third reason, and probably the most used and most important to this show, in my opinion, since we are a rather atheistic podcast, is that it's against God. It's against God's laws. It's against God's wishes. Okay, well, first of all, I'd just like to say when Christians use that argument, they generally use the book of Leviticus to condemn homosexuality. However, they ignore multiple laws, also in Leviticus, in the same exact book, okay? Such as, you shall not eat anything of the ocean that is not of scale and fin, for it is an abomination. You shall not cut your hair or trim your beard, which, by the way, Jesus says the opposite later in the New Testament, but that's neither here nor there. It says, when dressing, you shall not mix fabrics. So basically, anyone that's ever worn a cashmere sweater, denim pants, and cotton socks is a shoo-in for a front row seat in hell. You shouldn't grow more than one type of seed in a garden at a time. Okay? So, obviously, there's a large amount of cherry picking going on here because there's a whole slew of laws in the same book. Christians often like to say when atheists bring things up, oh, you're cherry picking from here and here and here. This is all in the same book. Okay? So I don't see how people can miss it. How can you use the book to condemn this, but not follow this law, and this law? That is cherry picking if I've ever seen it. And with that, I'm gonna open it up to hear what the other guys have to say, if they have any other topics or anything to add on the topics that I've already presented. So, guys?
I don't know if you said this, but it's been statistically shown that atheists actually divorce less than Christians. I don't know if you said that. And it's pretty funny that usually the loudest opponents of gay marriage, people have released how many times they've been divorced, and like a lot of them it's been like 4 times or so. It's kind of funny, but
according to Leviticus, you go to hell, and you die. It seems like just from that one book, I mean, everyone is going to hell nowadays. But I guess that's, just furthers our discussion on the hypocrisy of religion and how it's mainstream.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Christian narrative is you're born sick, and then as Christopher Hitchens put it, may he rest in peace, you're born sick and then commanded to be well. So I would say that your summary of Leviticus is correct, because according to the Bible, we all deserve to go to hell.
Didn't Jesus die to save us from that? He saved everybody, man, so we're all good, right?
Not if you're gay, I guess, because being gay, is a choice, according to the good book.
How about that gay conversion shit, man? That really grinds my gears.
Are you talking about pray the gay away? Oh, that is horrible. I don't know.
No, is that the camps? They have like these camps that you go to, and they like try to convert you into not being gay and stuff like that.
Right, that's where they try to make you pray the gay away, and it's horrible. It just ends up really producing more suicide and clinical depression, social anxiety, all the negative things that you'd think would go along with having any type of mental disorder, in other words, religion. But yeah, man, it takes everything. Being told that who you are every single day is an abomination is horrible. It's just part of that self-deprecating ideology, that self-destructive mentality that they keep using to foster their religion and to further their goals and to fill their tithing dish.
Yeah, I mean, it really... this Christianity shit, man, is really like an abusive relationship. Like, the more you look at it, dude, it's like they say they love you, they say, oh, you know what I mean? God loves you the way you are, and blah, 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 and then they fucking, oh my God, it's really just twisted.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just Christianity. It's the entire Abrahamic religious system, all of them, all the Abrahamic religions, all discuss how worthless everybody is and how sinful you are and how you are not worthy. I mean, the Romans and the Greeks, they're just like, you're born and we have all these gods that each one has their own task. We're all managing stuff. You know, the Norse, they had their gods, but I mean, from my understanding of Eastern and Western religion, which is very limited, I will say, but the only religions that I've come across where everyone is a piece of shit are the Abrahamic ones. And a side note, hey Moose Gal, how you doing? Glad to see you here.
You should just be on the show at this point. You should replace Buck with Moose Gal.
I kind of agree. Well, we kind of do. I mean, Moose Gal, I don't know if, Moose Gal is a she. That was pretty presumptuous of me. I'm just assuming. But Moose Gal, she puts all of her comments in there, and then we read them. So it's kind of like replacing Buck with someone, except we don't have to hear the 10-minute pauses between sentences.
And 15K audio quality. Don't forget about that.
No. Come on. This isn't a coup here, all right? We're not getting rid of Buck. He's going to be all upset. No, we're just joking. Let's get back on track here, all right?
That's right. I believe we were talking about how gay marriage is an abomination and how hypocritical it is, given all the other tenets, the terrible tenets of the religions that would claim to speak ill of all of these individuals. But I would like to say that there isn't really a specific verse in the Bible. I know that we've had a couple that we've even read on the show that are kind of the loosest translation of how it could be considered evil, but I've never seen a verse that implicitly says when a man, like, being gay is evil. It's all the individual interpretation that can be taken either way.
Are you going, Iron?
Yeah, I was trying to unmute my mic. Sorry about that. I just want to go back to the pray the gay away thing for a minute, because something that really bothers me about that is I see a lot of gay people who claim to be, healed or fixed behind that movement. And like, I was watching a Bill Maher documentary that he did in 2008, and he visited, I think it was a psychiatric clinic where people could go and have meetings with this psychiatrist that used to be gay but was healed by Jesus, and learn how to use Christianity and the Bible to heal themselves of the sickness that is homosexuality. And that really bothers me, because I feel like, you should be on the side of, it really gets to me. That's like the white people that are racist against white people. Like, how can you? I feel like you're betraying people that you should be standing with, and you're not only betraying them, but you're making it harder for the people that are fighting for equality. And on what basis?
I mean, this is total conjecture. I don't really think this is true or has any statistical merit, but I've heard many people, many gay people, and a lot of people say that the ones who fight against gay rights and gays the most usually end up being gay themselves. And when you put something like religion in the mix, telling them that they're wrong and dirty and stuff like that, it gives them this incentive to go out there and prove that they're not gay and fight against it that much more. Like, I've had a lot of gay friends, and I obviously have seen a lot of stuff going on since this happened, and I've seen so many gay people say, like, when they get bashed and everything, and then late down the road they find out the person that bashed them is actually gay or like a closet gay somehow, and it's like, I am not gay, and I do not care. Gay guys could be kissing and walking up and down the street half naked for all I care. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the incentive to? I don't get it. You know. So, and it's been found that a lot of pastors have been gay. I don't know. So, what do you guys got on it?
Yeah, you know what really grinds my gears? No, the words gay marriage. And I know that that's part of our, that's the major theme of what's going on. And, I like what you're saying, Matt, and I'm going to get back to you in a minute, but I just want to say that the words gay marriage just really grind my gears. It is, I really think now it's just marriage. That's it. It's not an opinion, it's just marriage now. But to get back to what you were saying, Matt, about people that are still in the closet and being the most fervent, if you will, in the anti-equality arena, I would not disagree. And like I said, it goes back to what I was saying previously about those that not just praying the gay away, like I mentioned before, but it's that holier than thou attitude that comes from the conviction of I can fix myself and I can make it so that I'm not this gay, so you can too, and I blah blah blah. It's that holier than thou complex because they feel like they're better because they're denying themselves who they are. It's part of that self-depreciation. The ones that feel the most like they're a despot are usually the ones that are going to be the most fervent in their fire and brimstone.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. So, this is in context to what Iron Chariot was saying. Like, he doesn't know why that counselor or whatever he said, psychiatrist or whatever, used to be gay, and now he's trying to convert other gay men. It's like he's fighting against his own team. But anyways, that's part. I think you hit the nail on the head, BA. Is like I've noticed this with a lot of people. When they find a way that works for them, they think they found the only way, and they want to share that way. They think they found something special, and like they stumbled on the one answer, and they're some kind of special person. Just because they found a way that works for them doesn't mean it's the only way for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I've noticed it in everyday life, like working with people or something. Like really conservative people are the worst on that. Like they find a way to do something, that's the way it is. You know. So I think it's part of that as well.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it's that atonement aspect. They're atoning for their sins, so to speak, their quote-unquote sins. It's that it is salvation through sacrifice, and they're playing the hostile martyr so that they can save others, and in their demented little reality, it's their way of feeling like they are repenting. They're adding notches in their belt, they're adding chips, to their stack in hopes that by converting others that they will be cured, so to speak. You're always going to have your Pat Robertsons out there, your psychopaths that are just out there to criticize everybody. The ones that will continue to wave the Bible in the air, so to speak, calling out abomination on everybody. But that is much more evil than good, and we see it time and time again. Just how the damage that this negative attitude can cause, and it's so sad that people that are so delusional can make otherwise amazing people, despite their personal delusions about what they believe in, feel so horrible. It makes me sad the amount of control that everyone can have just by using their words to hurt others.
Yeah, something that I never understood, if by the Christian doctrine we're supposed to go in front of God when we die or on judgment day or whatever, and he's going to judge us for our sins. Why do people care so much about gay people and gay marriage? As long as they are not enabling it by their own book, they are not culpable for anything that happens regarding it. So the fact that they're so against it makes no sense. Like, okay, you're against it, you're a Christian, great. Let God judge them, okay? We're all going to go before God according to your book, so Why do you feel the need to judge people now? Like I said, as long as you're not enabling it, you're not going to be held accountable for anything that happens regarding it.
And that's what I was saying before, is that, I mean, people tote the Bible and they'll carry it around and claim that it, says that one specific set of person is an abomination because of the way that they are, but I don't see the verse. I do not see the verse or verses that tell me that being gay is an abomination. And please, if there's anyone that's still watching at this point, in our future recording after it saves, or anyone watching right now that knows of those verses, please either put them in the live chat or post them in a comment so that I can address them. But I don't see it. It's everyone's individual interpretation, and those interpretations comes from the fear. And I'm not trying to make a case here for this behavior, but as a species, we have survived because we recognize patterns, and we are afraid of what's different than us. And people are stuck on this survivability and basic instinct, and they're not evolved socially enough to work with other people and see the similarities. All they see are the differences, and it scares them. And what they do is they act out in anger and they act out in fear. And it's not only socially and psychosocially inappropriate, but these people just haven't evolved empathy, I think. Quite possibly could just be that. They lack the empathy required to be a normal human being.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, it's a us and them mentality. It's anybody who's not like them is an outsider and a lesser human. It's really twisted. I wanted to touch on a couple things kind of off topic. I did see a documentary on the conversion therapy. I think it was by Vice. It was a pretty good documentary. This is going to sound kind of funny, but I thought it was kind of funny. Like, they go to this camp to be converted, and like they're putting on these like plays at the camp, and they're like really flamboyant, and it just seemed like a fun like gay camp to go to, and it just seems like they were just having fun being gay, but like, so I don't know, it just seemed like an excuse to go have fun and be gay. But so maybe that's part of it. I don't really know, and they feel like they're making right with God at the same time. But I wanted to. No, I don't think I have anything else. I do have something else. I just can't remember it. So yeah.
I do like the way you said it's a cult of personality, and
I was going to touch on that, but yeah, maybe you could do it better than I. But yeah, like the guys on TV, it's what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's like you could probably describe it better. It sounds like you were on a roll.
Oh no, when you were talking about a cult of personality, it kind of adds to my lizard brain from before. It's all, and you see a lot of these individuals that have this cult of personality. The ones that we're speaking of particularly are those type A's. But you're also going to see that subservient submissive. You have this dichotomy of personality in these forward religious movements. The individuals that are too scared to kind of make up their own mind, and they want to follow those that are stronger, and then you have the stronger ones that are willing to yell the loudest, and those are those type A's. And those type A's are the ones that are they're rallying up everybody to not just bash everybody, but to make an enemy. You know, everyone's looking for their next enemy, and these individuals, that's what they're good at. You know, they're the extroverts. They're the ones that are standing on the front lines. Kind of like me when I go on my rants and I yell at people and call them dumb. It's kind of that type A personality, and that dichotomy of personality, it is that cult of personality, where those two individuals, you need to have the leader and you need to have the sheeple, and it's a perfect cross-section of society of that side.
Yeah, it's really, and then the thing that gets me on that too is they have their big players, you know what I mean? But then even on like micro levels, people want to fill that role. Like at work or in everyday life, people want to feel that little taste of power, and they want to tell other people what, you know what I mean, what to do. Even on small, I don't know, I notice it all the time, even on small levels, and they want to feel like they're an authority and they're a big shot, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if you guys notice that at all, but
Well, the only way that you're going to effectively control people into doing what you want is to make them feel like they need you to control them. And that's exactly what they do using that book. They want to make you feel like you're not worthy of the gift that you're given, and they can tell you more next week. You come in and put your 10%, your 10% wage tithe in the dish, so that you can continue to fund us to tell you how good you are. I know that we all know that we're horrible people. We all know that we are not worthy of God's gift, but God gives it to us because He sees something in us and He loves us. For many people, it's the unconditional love that they haven't had, and it's a level of acceptance that they wouldn't find normally anywhere else. And it's that perfect love that draws so many people in. And then when you couple that unconditional love that they might not be getting with the idea that they're not worthy enough for any of that love and attention that they're actually getting, it's a perfect storm. I mean,
it's literally like an abusive relationship, like I was saying, man. It's like a codependent, abusive relationship. It's like weird, man. Real quick, I want to hold on. I want to say, yeah, God had this great sacrifice. His immortal son was killed and came back 3 days later. At best, that's a mild inconvenience. There's real people who have lost sons and daughters for eternity. Like, oh boy, he died for 3 days and he's back up and walking around, and now he's in heaven. Like, whatever. So, what do you got, Iron?
I just like to say too, as far as like the recent backlash after gay marriage became legal, or marriage between two gay people, as BA would prefer. I think a lot of the backlash has actually been because of the Christian persecution complex, and I think that they're using that as fuel for the fire. Christians have this persecution complex, and this is just another log that they can throw in the fire of Christians are being persecuted and enslaved in America.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they bend over backwards to look for anything that's even close to persecution, and it's like, no one's making you marry men or marry women. No one's making you do anything. The only thing we're doing is making an equal opportunity for everybody, which is what this country's supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how that's persecution in any way. And they even say, like, oh, they're going to force us to, like, they keep saying, like, they're going to force pastors to marry gay couples. No, they're not. And you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. It's only government. I don't know.
Yeah, or like, the thing that really got to me, like, with the whole gay cakes in the bakery thing a while back, is like, first of all, Christians were claiming that they were being enslaved by the government because they were being forced to do work they didn't want to do. I'm sorry, but that's not the definition of slavery. You're being paid to do the job you signed up to do. And second of all, no one is asking you to make a gay cake. No one is asking you to make a cake with penises on it. There may be a cake for a gay wedding, but nobody is asking you to make a gay cake.
As long as they don't make cakes with penises on them for anybody, then it's okay. But if they're going to make it for straight people, then they got to make it for gay people too. That's pretty much the rule. I don't know. I think BA had something.
I do. I hate to, go down the rabbit hole of the bakery, but while we're on there, I have something I want to say. I think that it should be anyone's right to do any horrible business practice that they decide, but they have to be willing to reap the economic repercussions of that, which means they do not get any type of sanctity. They don't get any type of protection either way. So no one's forcing them to make cakes, any type of cakes, cupcakes, donuts, anything. No one is forcing them to make anything for a gay couple, for a black person, for a Hispanic person, for a white person, for an adult, or for a child. But they have to realize when they decide they don't want to do that, which is within their right, then they also have to face the repercussions that they are not only segmenting an entire part of their customer populations, but also anyone that is friends with or family with or love or even has empathy for the rest of the human race is not going to want to visit that establishment, and they have to be willing to make that sacrifice. That's completely on them. And if they want to do that in this economy, I think they should be more than willing to, but they have to be also willing to go bankrupt. I'm going to read a comment from Moose Gal that says, some Americans say marriage equality. How about that phrase? I did mention that before. That's something that grinds my gears. I don't know, just the gay marriage thing, it should just be marriage, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, we got to talk about it in context so we know what we're talking about, at least for right now. I mean, it's going to take a while till we can just say marriage and everybody won't blink an eye and know exactly. You know, I wanted to say, though, I want to say that, okay, so here's the thing. I feel like companies should be able to do like you said. They should be able to not make gay cakes if they don't want to, not serve gay people if they want to. But the problem with that is when 80% of the United States are Christian, we got to protect the minorities from the 80%. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you draw that line? And I think it actually is against the law for them to not serve gay people. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever they would serve a straight person, they have to serve a gay person. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I wish we had better. I don't know.
Buck normally knows that.
Yeah, Buck would know
the legal aspect. But I want to say that there's employment opportunity. There's equal employment law that federally they cannot discriminate against someone for employment opportunities or for any type of, whether it be hiring, promotion, or any of that nature. They cannot discriminate. But the law is so open that they can just say, oh, well, we don't think you were a good fit for the team. So, I mean, in that kind of aspect, I mean, they can always say one thing or another. They could say that the customer was being hostile. They can make any excuse as to why they're not going to serve them. That's the unfortunate thing. But I think that, I mean, realistically, if they want to discriminate, I think that technically they should be able to. But if you look at Yelp and if you look at all the other websites where you rate establishments, all they have to do is post one thing on any one of those, and it'll blow up and go viral. They make a YouTube video. I don't agree with that. They tweet something. I mean, if they want to sink their business into the ground, I think that technically should be their right, as much as they should be able to make bad stock trading decisions.
I agree with you. In a perfect world, that would be the case. But look at what happened with Memories Pizza. They made bank. They made money on that. All of the negative Yelp reviews got removed. When 80% of the country is Christian and they have such a strong majority, there's no way that's gonna work out. I mean, I agree. I wish it did. I wish it could just be that simple. But you know what I'm saying?
But remember, we have freedom of speech without taking into account slander. So if you're looking at those instances where they say, I'm not going to serve you because you're gay, well, you don't have to, but I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to sue you because what you're doing is, in further discussion of that, we find out that they have deformated their character. And that is an opposable offense. You can easily sue for something like that, and I think that if there's a fine that should be established, then we establish that fine, and when they're taken to court, they have to deal with it that way. But unfortunately, that's their right. I don't know.
Just to go back to what you were saying a minute ago, Matt, about it being illegal for companies to discriminate against gay people. I don't know about all over the country, but I do know, for instance, that when the whole cake incident went down, Indiana, I believe it was, passed the Religious Freedom Act, which, and I could be wording this wrong, but the way I understand it is it gives any business owner the right to discriminate or to refuse service, rather, on religious grounds.
Yeah, and that's what the whole thing, Memories Pizza thing, was about, I'm pretty sure. And then they went back and did away with it. I should mention that I'm not sure how many, but a lot of states you can be fired for being gay. That's true. So
In most southern states, you can't hold office if you're an atheist. Um, it's like that in many southern states. You can't even hold a county commissioner or a comptroller job if you're an atheist. But my point is that in a free market economy, when you start telling people who they serve and who they can't serve, that's kind of a tricky line. Telling someone that they have to serve everybody, I mean, I don't agree that people should be able to discriminate. It's unfortunate. People shouldn't be able to discriminate, but at the same point, in a free market society, if they don't want to sell to someone, I mean, that's their fault. That's that's money that they're losing out. They're losing out on, and if they want to fight it in court, that's their battle. It's just the how it would go in a free market society. You can't say you have to serve me. If I want you to put a penis on the cake, you have to.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I know
I'm
that's
saying
not what
that
you're saying.
if they don't make penis cakes for anybody, then they don't have to make them for the gay person. But if they make cakes for everybody, then they should have to make it for the gay person. That's it, you know? They shouldn't have to do anything they wouldn't normally do. They should have to treat everybody the same as they would. I mean, I think that's how it is. I might be wrong. But I think we're getting way off. I mean, this is supposed to be on marriage, but
Yeah, kind of, but I mean, it's just
or abomination. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an abomination.
That's right. I thought it was marriage for a second. Okay. I'm an idiot.
Did you want me to pull? We already did a marriage equality thing, but did you want me to pull up that link that you posted?
Oh, you don't have to pull it up. It's just 32 states. This is a new article. I mean, you can if you want, but 32 states you can be fired for being gay. That's a lot of states, man. That's a lot of states. So, I mean, that's pretty scary. I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was less. I thought it was only like 13 or something.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, we saw it. That's scary, man. Imagine if that was for black people, you know what I'm saying, or other races. You could be fired for. It's ridiculous. I mean, that's the whole equation here. Is what this whole thing is being equated to is the race thing, because we had to fight for that for the longest time, and you even once black people won their freedom, they still couldn't marry white people. We had to fight for that. I mean, it's crazy. I think it was only in the 70s that it was completely done away with, man. How backwards and effed up are we, man? It's so crazy.
Well, we do have a long way to go when it comes to equality, but as President Obama said, we are one step closer to a more perfect union. Our union is more perfect today than it was yesterday. That was on the SCOTUS ruling. Moose Gal says, in response to my question about posting the verse, if a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. I previously asked. That was actually, it was on our wheel before. But that I asked for the scriptures in the live chat, or a comment that would say that, being gay is evil. But like I said, that's also up to interpretation, because my personal interpretation is it says nothing about sex. However, you can't cuddle. So if you want to have, if a man lies with a man, so you can have sex all you want, they just can't cuddle afterwards. That's my personal interpretation. I know we discussed that before when it was on the wheel, but that's my interpretation of it.
Yeah, and my comment last time was, two men having sex together isn't like a man and a woman, because men don't have vaginas, so there you go. It's not like you would a woman. Well, I mean, you could, but you know what I'm saying.
No, you're 100% correct. Men don't have vaginas generally, so it wouldn't be like having sex with a woman. Therefore, that statement is completely negated. I completely agree with you, Matt. I think that's 100%.
Can't reach around a woman, really. I mean, well, all right. So that's the problem with the Bible, man. If you're an all-powerful, omnipotent God, and in your freaking book is so obscure and idiotic, man. How does that reflect on the God? You know what I'm saying?
That's just sloppy business, is what it is. It's sloppy business.
It's just ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, Yahweh isn't a very good business manager. That's pretty much what that boils down to.
I mean, even through the translations, you think they could have fixed it when they translated it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get who's running the show here. You know, this guy's a joke.
He's like a small child with an anthill. Really, all he's doing is pointing the magnifying glass and burning everyone that he can. I think that he even is completely subjective because there's, I don't know. I do know that we already did cover a current event, which actually this whole episode is kind of like a current event. Unless Iron unless Iron has anything that he wants to add, I think it's time for our wheel. Iron, do you have anything? No? Iron doesn't have anything. He's giving the thumbs up. All right.
So we're not doing current event?
Well, this entire episode is kind of a current event, but we brought up the bakery, and we talked about the bakery, and we talked about our other current event was how everyone likes to red herring and pigeonhole and rabbit hole, and we've already discussed that kind of pretty well in detail.
Can I bring up that thing I wanted to really quick? Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do you want me to pull it up? Do you want the actual article from Patheos, or do you want the what would you do?
Yeah, do the Patheos. So I just real quick, I wanted to touch on this, the What Would You Do episode. If you guys haven't heard about it, it aired this last Friday, I believe. And I didn't watch the episode. I'm not gonna. But if you go to this Patheos article on it, they're totally bashing atheists. It's total propaganda. It's just ridiculous, the whole scenario. And basically there's this huge backlash on Facebook about this video. There's a Patheos article, and there's Richard Dawkins was sharing it today. That's how I heard about it. And if you guys could go leave some feedback or just look into it and see how ridiculous this crap is, I mean, it would be great. But I don't know, maybe it's something to look into. It's a current event, so you know, it kind of upset me, and it's upsetting a lot of people, so check it out. But I'll go ahead and get the wheel going.
Okay, so I'll give a little bit of a quick breakdown while he's grabbing the wheel. So this What Would You Do article, basically it's a good Christian family, quote-unquote, that's sitting at a table and this angry atheist off to the side. And the Christian family starts to pray. They start to pray at the table before their meal, and then the angry atheist starts to scream violently at the top of their top of her lungs. I have a right to eat without you forcing your religion down my throat. And they go back and forth, and then people respond. People are basically up in an uproar because this fake angry atheist is being a jerk. Now, even if I feel exactly how that angry atheist feels, most people that I know, including myself, aren't going to yell at someone from across the room about it. I don't know. But yeah,
to be completely honest, if I was in that restaurant, I would have told the atheist to shut the F up too. Nobody would let somebody act the way they were. It's like, talk about red herrings, man. Or straw man, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah, straw man. It's a straw man. It's completely. Yeah, you're 100% correct. People don't talk that way, and I would also tell the angry atheist to shut up because, I mean, at that point, you're just throwing stones to throw stones. But yeah, go check that out. It's that Patheos article that was up. Go back, pause the video. You can check it out, or you can Google Patheos, and then What Would You Do Atheist, and that should pull it up. But we're at that time in our show where Matt's going to spin the wheel. He's going to pick a scripture off of the wheel, and he's going to read it, and then we're going to discuss how dumb it is. I'm going to say it's dumb before I even know what it is, because I feel confident like that. But Matt, if you're ready, please spin the wheel.
Oh, it's a big boy. This is the big boy. That's what we like to see. All right. All right. This is. I got to figure out a better system. But all right, here we go.
Yeah, that was a good job, though. You kept it in the video the whole time.
All right, hold on here. I taped them up all weird. There we go. Oh, this is a big one. All right, you ready? For I am come. Oh, this is a good one, man. I like this one. All right. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And this is Jesus talking, Matthew 10:35-27. So basically, if you love your family, any one of your family more than Jesus, you're not worthy of Jesus, and you're probably going to go to hell. So there you go. You should, if God, it ties into the Isaac story. If God told you to kill your family, you should kill your family, because apparently you're supposed to love God and Jesus more than your entire family. So what do you got, BA?
Also, I believe also Jesus was referring to when in Matthew, in that particular section in Matthew, that he is here to pit families against themselves, and he is here to have everyone raise the sword. And if you love yourselves more than you love, if you love your family more than you love God, I shall pit you all against yourselves, and you shall massacre each other.
Exactly. This version was actually it was one of the translations that was a little bit skewed nicer. But yeah, you're exactly right. The real version talks about a sword, and he doesn't come to bring peace. He comes to bring war and cause death and strife between families and family members. It's I don't get how people say Jesus came to bring peace, but okay.
Yeah, and in fact, on several occasions, he talks about how he is not here to bring peace. He is here to continue to enforce the laws of the Father, and he has come to bring war and sword and fight amongst yourselves, and et cetera, and so forth and so on. I'm sorry, Iron. I think I jumped in front of you there.
No, it's all good, man. I just wanted to say I've heard a lot of Christians try to twist this in different ways so it doesn't sound as bad. But the problem with that is there's really no way you can twist it, because there's multiple occasions in the Bible that I can't, quote right off the top of my head, but there's multiple occasions in the Bible where Jesus, in fact, shuns his own mother and ignores her and pushes her aside, exactly how he is telling his people to do. So there's no real room for interpretation or skewing there, because he's demonstrating how to do it.
Yeah, there are several places in the Bible where he actually gives explicit or also non-implicit instructions on how to do specific things. And everyone's like, oh, well, that's just rhetorical. No, he didn't really mean that. It was rhetoric on how the morality of man is so that we pit ourselves against each other, and we should love God more than that. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it says, if you love each other more than you love me, I will pit you against each other, and you will murder each other, and you will murder your mother, and you will murder your cousins and your aunt and your sisters and brothers if you love each other more than me.
Well, also, I know there's a story, I can't pinpoint where it is off the top of my head, but Jesus is having some sort of a powwow with his disciples, and his mother comes to warn him that the townspeople are talking about crucifying him and this and that, and it says that she stands off to the side for some length of time, some long length of time, waiting till Jesus is done speaking, and then after their little powwow is over, he looks at one of his disciples and says, "Send her away." So he's pretty well demonstrating that you're supposed to shun your family and basically follow him because he is your mother and your father.
Well, I mean, also, you shouldn't love anyone more than Jesus. But to add to the whole Jesus shunning his mother thing, I'm not sure if that was written in John. I want to say maybe. I can't remember specifically. But he also had said on a few occasions that women should be silent and do as she's told. So he doesn't need his mom telling him what to do. That's just how it works, man.
Sounds like an emo teenager to me.
Yeah, I was just trying to find that one part from the Bible you're talking about, and I found a link that said, "Do you hate your mother as much as Jesus hated his?" from the landoverbaptist.org, but the link is dead. I wish I wish it worked. It sounded like a good one. It was posted on Mother's Day, apparently, I think. But,
That's a horrible thing to post on Mother's Day.
No, the
You
link
love your
is
mother
down.
more than God.
Dude, is landoverbaptist.org like it came up. Oh. I'm gonna read this later, but anyways, check that out. It's probably pretty funny. So yeah, we got the spotlight, huh? Who's?
Hold on. I want to pull this up.
Okay.
I want to try. We got a few minutes. But yeah, so landoverbaptist.org news that was May 4th, I think. 5/4. It was Mother's Day. I'm having a little bit of a hard time pulling it up. Did you get it? No, it says timed out.
No, mine came up, dude. I don't know what's going on with this dude, but it's crazy. It says, I just scrolled down a little bit, so I might be missing some context here, but it says, can you imagine being dotted and hounded by your mother as much as Jesus was from his? Even for a Jewish mother, the woman was clearly a pest. What the hell? This is crazy. Oh, God.
All right, everybody, I got it to load up here, so you can see up at the top what the link is, so you can check that out. This does seem to be pretty promising. Woman, what have I to do with thee? My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Woman, behold my son.
Dude, this has got to be a fake page, man. This has got to be fake. Look, accept Christ and get a free PlayStation 2? How old is a PlayStation 2? No, this has got to be fake. But
I'd like to think that it's a Poe thing. I'd like to think that it's a Poe thing. If you want to see the link, you just go back there and check it out. Is there like an About Me section? Because I want to staff.
Dude, this site looks awesome.
Hold on, there's something here. Let's check out the staff. Let's see. Godly sex. Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems kind of fake to me.
Dude, it's worth checking out, though. I mean, I'm sure it brings up those articles that he was saying, but. Dude, this site is doing the Lord's work, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that site is definitely doing the Lord's work. So everybody, go back and check that site out if you want some laughs. And Matt, you just turned off your video and left your audio up.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, and then I was just talking, muted. All right, whatever.
Yeah, you're just trying to mute it. All right, so Atheist Spotlight time. Iron had picked one out for tonight. It says That Atheist Guy. So, Iron, would you like to point out, before actually you get started, I just want to say, Atheist Spotlight on our channel, The Heretic Clerics on YouTube on the right-hand side. We have our Atheist Spotlight section. I'm going to put the YouTube channel for That Atheist Guy along with the other YouTube channels that are already up there for our Atheist Spotlights. And then I will put in the description below the Twitter, Facebook, any of the other links that Atheist Guy has. But Iron, would you like to talk about That Atheist Guy for a moment?
Yeah, I'll make this quick. I like him for a couple of reasons. Number one, because his videos are short, and I know that's a complaint that some people have with my videos, is that they're long, and a lot of people like short videos. So odds are more people are likely to sit through a short video. So I think brevity when you talk in that context is a good thing. I think that the way he conducts his videos is very passive, certainly more passive than I, which is a good thing, because if Christians happen to stumble upon his channel, they're more likely to watch his videos and all the way through without much backlash, or without shutting their brain off because they feel offended. They're more likely to consider what he's saying because he's not attacking them or their beliefs in an abrasive way. Also, I just have to say, he has a series he does like five most annoying things that Christians say, or 5 most this or that religion, and I'm partial to list videos like that. I think it's partly just the anticipation of getting to number 1. But yeah, he seems to have a pretty good grasp of the English language too. The way he speaks, it just kind of it keeps you watching. So I strongly encourage people to check him out. He's really awesome, and like BA said, his YouTube and Facebook and Twitter will be in the description below.
Cool, man. Yeah, I never heard of this guy. It's amazing how many people are out there that, I've never heard of. It's pretty cool to be able to share it with everybody, all of our 2 viewers.
Which I think actually one of those viewers, no, 3 if you include yourself. Yet we have the Warhammer and Moves Gals, which are, our fans, I guess you could call them. They're returning viewers, I guess. I don't want to label them as fans. I don't know how they feel about the show, but at least they're returning viewers, so I can say that with certainty. Tonight we did talk about how gay marriage is an abomination. And we went on a few different topics, went off on a few different things. I'd like to thank everyone, including the Warhammer and Moose Gal, for showing up tonight. Anyone who's still watching at this point, congratulations. You don't get anything but my thanks. But I appreciate you watching up until this point, and I would like to say to everyone that is watching, good night.
See you guys.
Yeah. Deuces.